Local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome and good morning. Well, since New Hanover County and the city of Wilmington consolidated their water and sewer operations, now known as the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, there's been a lot of public discussion, and some of it has included some pretty sharp criticism. Today we're talking about its operation, the status, some of their plans for the future, and what it all means to you as a consumer. Our guest in the first segment is Brent McAbee, who is the Chief Financial Officer of the Authority, and in our next segment we'll be joined by Jim Fleckner, who is their Engineering Manager, and he manages many of the projects that the Authority is undertaking. Brent, good morning. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Good morning.
You're not new to public service. You worked for the city of Wilmington.
Yes, I was a finance officer for the city of Wilmington for a number of years.
And then you retired.
I retired.
So what happened?
A new challenge, and excited about putting the Water and Sewer Authority together.
And but now you've announced a retirement target date too, right?
The end of the year. This is going to be the end of the career.
We'll see.
Okay, thank you.
The biggest outcry that the public seemed to vibe to was centered around the billing mess and what happened when the two units were consolidated. Has all that been straightened out?
It has been straightened out. As of May, the bills are current. Every other month, bills are being sent out on time. So regrettable that consolidation of systems did not work as planned, but we are caught up now.
How'd you feel when all that was going down? Because you're the financial officer.
It was very difficult, and something we wish had not happened. It certainly was a misstep on our part there, but it has been.
You got over that hump.
We are over that hump.
Yeah. Another issue that caused some criticism is a report that the Authority has more employees and spent more on salaries and benefits in its first year than Wilmington and New Hanover County utility divisions did the year before consolidation. Is that accurate?
It is accurate. The Authority is a self-standing entity. The counties and the city's water and sewer operations were departments of their general government, and many of the support services like finance
were done by government employees, so they needed to.
And we added staff for those overhead. I think we also added a few staff members to improve some programs that the city and county had begun: environmental management, asset management. Our overall budget did not substantially increase over the city and county's budgets from the prior year. It
was also reported that there was an agreement by both the county and the city that all utility employees from both the city and the county were guaranteed their job if they wanted it, and that no one would have a pay reduction. Is that true?
That is correct.
What was that put in place for employee morale? Or?
Yeah, for protection that the employees who had a lot of many years of service with the city and the county would come over and be protected in their job. They would have had jobs at the city and the county. They were in the state retirement system. Many had been there 20 years, 25 years, so it was to guarantee their job.
How long is something like that in effect? If you say people were guaranteed their job for ever?
No, not really. It was as of the date of consolidation. People were guaranteed a job on that date. They have to perform their job after consolidation.
What about operating expenses, like running the treatment plants, pipe maintenance, and that kind of thing? How does that compare with before consolidation?
Well, I'll give you one overall comparison. The city and county's budget in the year FY08 would be June 30, 2008, was about $30.2 million. Our first year of operation was about 31.4, so it's about 3.8% higher than the city and county had been the prior year.
Was that your target as the financial officer? Did you want to keep it revenue neutral? Differences maybe in salaries and benefits and that kind of thing, and maybe a little less on operation to keep it about the same ballpark?
We wanted to keep it very close. Certainly on the operations side, we will talk a little further about some increases in budget that relate to our capital projects, which...
Because it looked like that the operation expenses were about $4 million less.
Well,
after consolidation.
The city and county had paid to their general fund a certain amount of money out of their operating budgets for those support services. We hired people for those support services, so it essentially converted operating expenses to salary and benefits. Mm-hmm. So that was why our operating is actually reduced from the city and the county.
But let me emphasize again that your total budget was pretty much, your total expenditure was pretty much the same.
About 3.8% higher.
Do you think it's unreasonable for the public to expect a consolidated effort to be less expensive to run than two separate entities?
I think there would be some expectation of that, but I think we have to remember that we did not have overlapping systems. The county had a water and sewer system. The city had a water and sewer system. They have to be maintained. We're hoping we can improve the level of maintenance.
Because I do remember in the beginning of consolidation talks that it was emphasized that in the beginning it would not be any substantial savings, but down the line.
Correct. That
over years there could be some savings seen. Do you still stick to that
Well,
philosophy?
We did, and I think we saw some in this year's budget. We reduced 5 positions from our initial year to the current year, and we're able to, eliminate some positions there.
Were you surprised, or was the authority surprised at the flood of criticism and the mountain of resistance to the authority?
Well, it was a lot of change, and it wasn't aided by the problems in billing, but a lot of change. Our rate system was considerably different than the city and county rate systems, and so that I think did create some criticism.
Do you think the reaction would have been different had the transition gone smoothly?
It would have been less sharp, but I believe because there was a lot of change, there would have been still conversation.
Do you think it was the effort and what it would take was underestimated on paper? It's one thing when you're conceiving it, and when you're really doing it, it evidently becomes something else.
Well, it was probably underestimated. We also had a shorter time frame. The approval process creating the authority was scheduled to end in July of 2007. It was not culminated until almost December of 2007. So where we have had 8 or 9 months to prepare for the conversion, we had about 4 months. So that time frame was compressed, and unfortunately, we were not able to get the conversion done to the level we would have liked.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk more about the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority. We'll talk about rates, and then Jim Fleckner, who is their engineering manager, he's going to oversee a lot of the projects that the authority is getting ready to undertake and are already doing. He'll join us as well, so stay with us.